I want you to play this game. Not for fun, not for socialization, but for Northwood. Trick-taking games. If you know me, you should know I'm Kylie. I'm coming at you here from Games Unlimited, and I love trick-taking games. When I first heard that there was a solo trick-taking game, I was incredibly skeptical. Even two-player trick-taking games usually don't work. There's one or two good ones out there, but normally trick-taking, when you're thinking things like hearts and spades, euchre, you need 3, ideally 4 people. Partnerships are really good. There's a lot of great interaction there. But one of my favorite trick-taking games of recent years is The Crew. And that is a fully cooperative trick-taking game. So that was something I never thought could happen, but it really flexes your trick-taking game muscles as you're trying to work together to figure out what everybody has, what's your best play. So I thought, if there's a solo trick-taking game and it's done well, I'll probably have a lot of the same, exercising those trick-taking game muscles. So I got a chance to try for Northwood. Tiny little game. Surprisingly fantastic cards. I mean, these are some sort of plasticky thing. You could probably get them wet. They just feel so good in the hand. But that's beside the point. The game itself is really, really good. So what you're doing, how does a solo trick-taking game work? Most trick-taking games, you got a hand of cards, you've got some suits. The person who leads is going to play a card. Everyone else has to play the same suit. See who wins the trick. That's kind of what's going to go on here. Of course, you don't have a human opponent who's leading. The game itself is just going to draw a card off the top of the deck, and that's the lead card, and then you have to follow suit. And you'll either take the trick or you won't. If you don't take the trick, the card you play from your hand goes into the discard pile. It's the same spot that the card you just flipped off the top of the deck came from. So you flip a card into the discard pile. Let's say it is eyes. Then you've got to play eyes if you've got it. If you're not winning the trick, you put your card in the discard pile. If you are winning the trick, either because you have a higher eye or you've got the trump, and the trump's going to change from round to round. But if you have the trump suit and you're out of the lead suit, you can play that trump card. And if you win, you're going to put it into your own separate score pile. Now, you're not just trying to get as many points as possible. No, that'd be way too easy. You're going to play 8 hands. And each hand you have to choose which one of these rulers you're going to go to and try to convince to your cause, convince you to fight, convince them to fight for Northwood. Each of them wants you to take an exact number of tricks. So if you're over here at the King of Leaves, he wants 4 tricks. So you're going to have 8 cards in your hand. Of those 8 tricks that you're going to play, you need to win 4 of them. No more, no less. So you need to win exactly that. Well, how are you going to do that when it's pretty much completely random? You don't know what they're going to lead. Well, you had a choice of which ruler to go to. So you look at your hand of 8 cards. There are 4 suits, 1 to 8 in each suit. So very easy to sort of count things. Plus, you don't have to memorize. You're allowed to look through the discard pile and everything. So you look at your hand and decide, where do you want to go? Do you have a lot of the trump suit? If you do, maybe if that suit is up here, the Queen of Flowers, usually take 6 of them, and flowers are trump because she's trump. So if you have a lot of trump suit, maybe that's a good place to go. And you also know, because you have a lot of that suit, there's less chance that they're going to lead that suit because they're using the remainder of the deck that you don't have in your hand. So you can sort of visualize what's going on there. But the thing that really makes the game special is you have a set of advisors. You've got 4 advisors out there, and you can use each advisor once per trick. Once per hand, my bad. So before you see what the opponent's going to do, you can decide, I want to use the Jack of Leaves. What does the Jack of Leaves do? The Jack of Leaves lets you exchange the ruler of the fief you're on, so whatever one you're going for, you can exchange that ruler with a ruler up to 2 spaces away, effectively changing the trump suit. So maybe you're trying to get 6 or 7 tricks, and you've got a lot of them with that trump, but then you can change it to another trump suit that maybe you still have more cards of in your hand. The Jack of Eyes lets you draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. So maybe great if you're going low, and you're like, I've got some high cards in here that might take a trick I don't want it to. Maybe I can draw 2 cards, discard those high cards. So those advisors, you're looking at them when you're deciding where to go strategically. I bet I can go here because if I use this advisor, if I get into a tight spot, I can do that there. Plus, when you have successfully convinced one of the rulers to join your cause, they can become an advisor for you. So each of the rulers has their own special ability. But you can only use that once per game. So the The advisors you have out there, jacks, can be used once per hand, but if you decide you want to bring one of those rulers in as your advisor, after that hand it goes away and you're not going to be able to use that again. So you really have to make some cool decisions. There's a base game setup, it's kind of what I have set up here, where you have the jacks as the advisors, a certain set of rulers, but there are a lot more rulers out there, and in the full game, you just shuffle it all up randomly. You're going to get 4 random advisors, you're going to have random rulers out there that you have to go against, and the game is played to points. So each of these areas is worth a different amount of points. If you get at least 16 points total by the end of the game, you've won. Of course, the perfect score is 20 points. And one of my favorite things, once you've played the base game a few times, the noisy year. This is a whole journal of unique ways to play. So you kind of work your way through it. It has some unique special rules, unique ways to set up that just give it a lot more just interesting depth. This is a game. I was recently on vacation. I took this with me. I probably played it a dozen times. Really, you can sink your teeth into it. Play super quick, 15, 20 minutes, set it up, go. But I love the things you have to think about, especially if you're a fan of trick-taking games. I've really been liking a lot of solo games lately. I don't know what that says about me, but this one, unlike some of the other solo games I played, this one's just so quick to set up. You can keep it with you in a backpack. It's fantastic. For Northwood. Highly recommend. This is something you sort of pick up, keep with you anytime you got 15, 20 minutes. Wonderful game to take, if you're traveling, if you're going to have some downtime in an airport or something like that. Pick up For Northwood. I'm Kylie at Games Unlimited. Come on down, ask us about it, take a copy home, and unbox some fun.